YouTube. Just woke up. What do I want to say? Um, I think I need to expose myself. She said she was 12. Um, I don't think I've been putting enough effort in, honestly. I don't think I've put enough effort in. I don't think I've put enough effort in at all. I think I had a really good month. Maybe possibly in late January to mid to late February. But I think after that it got a little bit out of hand. I think when the strikes happened and I decided to take a week off to read, I found myself 3 weeks down of nothing. And now I've got the effort to show for it. Now I've really got the evidence that I need to look at. I've not been putting in the effort. And when I say that, I mean, yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I told one of my boys in church, we were waiting, like just on confession, we were just sitting chilling. And he comes up and he says, "Look, man, I've got this idea. You know, you remember the idea for the story I've got. I've been thinking this and this and this." And I was like, "Yeah, that's good. But here's the sort of key thing about it all. You know, your characters, they have to feel real, human." I told him. I told him that you're writing real people. You're not writing characters. You're not writing characterizations. All these actions that they take are real to them. It's their life. It means everything to them. You know, and I think I sort of just mirrored what Adrian Tarkovsky said in his like hour-long interview on YouTube. You can find it quite easy. And he was like, "Oh wow." And I realized as I've been writing, honestly, like I haven't been getting to the heads of my characters. I haven't been writing really, because of that. Like I'm not. I'm not. I need to expose myself. No one else is given the closeness and the attention of the work. Uh, Yet nobody else will do it. It's my work. I can't fear it and keep the distance from it. I have to. I have to be the one to put all the attention and the detail in it. Because I know my character more than anybody else. I'm the one writing the character. It's only me who can write the character. You know. Only I know the deepest, darkest secrets of the character. You know. And absolutely, I need to get. I need to get into it more. I feel like I've just been on the outside, really. On the outside, because of the progress I did with the Yeti early on, using that as an excuse. But then even that, I looked at a later draft compared to an earlier draft, and I keep saying in my head, this earlier draft is far fucking superior. It's far superior. Yeah. So I'm at a crossroads where I got two stories. They're both due in May. And I'm at like draft 3 with each of them. And they're just not right. They're there, they're not quite there. Their structures, are down. Their structures I get, you know. Yeti, I start outside a grand city, right? Like a really futuristic utopian cityscape. and I got my characters, and I got their work, and I've got, their humor, and I've got their interactions, and then they fly off to somewhere, and there's a sprinkle of law in there. They have to change paths because of the war that just broke out. What war? Well, it's this war with this law, But I'm not too much with it. It's just like, oh well, we got to go over this territory, and that makes you think, okay, well, so in the future these guys have taken this, taken that. Like, okay, cool. We know we're in the future, obviously, as the reader. And then they crash. They crash land, and they're in white snow. Just nothing but pitch white. The idea of the story, the title, Pitch White. Because back in the day, I just had that idea of some guy, a little bit bloody, just stomping his way through like 2 foot deep snow, thinking about where his friend is, and he can't see anything but white, and then he gets killed by a yeti. And that was an idea that I had initially. So this is why I'm writing this. And basically, I think dude breaks his leg in the crash. So he can't go anywhere. So the only other 2 guys who survive with him, they have to go find help, and they do it quick. They're like, let's just go, not be idiots, not be dumb. They come back for him. He's still there, and then they go, and when they go, they basically they come across this scene of a lab which is overrun with dead bodies, and pretty much it. They try to just figure out what the fuck's going on. They have no hope besides this lab. And then the yeti comes, and well, it's proficient. It's proficient. It's quick, large, and then I take the description of the yeti and I just sort of try to describe how magnificent it is, and then end the story there, because I want that cliffhanger of, do they die or not? I want that. I just want it, right? And I'm just writing this story based off the things I want, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? All the structure's down. It's just what the characters say, what they do, how they act, the descriptions I put in. It just doesn't feel like it's fully there, For the Billy story, to me, it's quite simple. It's cyclical. He wakes up. He goes to the bathroom. There's a guy in the bathroom, dead, overdosed. So he falls back out of just sheer fear, and hallucinates. And hallucinates this awful thing happen, and then he runs out, and then he's like, I'm not doing this shit. And he just tries to leave the house, and people start trying to stop him from leaving. And he leaves essentially after they fight, because he's really insulting at that time, because he's just seen dead body. He thinks he's gonna die. He thinks they're all fit to live under the same state. The toward death, they're all gonna die like that. And this guy who's more of the on the drug side, I thought I'd put some dichotomy in there. You got him who wants to never drugs again. You got the guy who thinks drugs are life. You got the guy in the middle who does drugs, but he's a good man deep down. And so he leaves. He goes back home to his family's house. His mom, she helps him try to get off. But sometime later, I'd like to say a day or two. They come back running to his house, the 2 guys, because the girl in the house was raped by one of their other friends, and basically this guy has quite a strong connection to her, and even that I haven't shown enough. This guy has quite a strong connection to her. So he goes to these guys in the house, and well, he fights them, just straight up rage essentially, beats the fuck out of them, and he goes back to this girl and he goes to comfort her, and she's what's dragging him back into life, you know, and I'm torn at that point because at that point I'm lost. I know what I want to do. I know I want him to take again, and I know I want him to die, and I want him to die hallucinating some large, grotesque, like satanic, you know, like not like it's bulk. It is sheer, like it's like the Yeti, right? It's sheer bulk and size. Its legs are massive, like its legs are like that, always crooked like that, and it's got like a real hoof, you know. So it stomps as it walks. If you ever played Repo, the game Repo, like that guy who does the laser attack, like the feet's like that big, right? And he's always hunched over, and then the horns are just sort of large. And I want him to scream, and just primal fear, and at that demon, and then cut to Nikki, the girl character, coming through, and all of a sudden she sees him. She sees he's dead, and she feels the baby bump on her belly. You know, the baby that this guy is not aware of, and she sees him there, sort of drowning in his own vomit. I think I want to take that one from Shuggy Bear, fantastic. You know, she sees him there. She sees him dead. She sees him lifeless. And she says the same thing he says. You know, I want each part, 3 parts of the story, each part to end on Billy saying we're all gonna die, him again saying we're all gonna die. So in that part 2 where he knocks the guy out, beats the guy up, and goes back to his girl. I can't have the pregnant be exposed, and I can't have her sit there and be like, Billy, I'm pregnant. So, and it to me doesn't feel justified. If death would make him leave drugs, but I think pregnancy would give him the extra push he needs. So I think I need a reason that's contrary, but she's pregnant later on, and that is going to be her way of seeing him die, and with that baby, she's going to say, we're all going to die, but she's going to have the motivation to try to get off drugs. So it's like, this guy started to try to get off drugs, the life did shit to him, he died, but maybe she's the next generation, right? So I don't know, maybe generation, not generation wise, but just she's the next link in that cosmic step of which one of these peoples are actually going to get off drugs, because that's how it is, right? Which person in bike is actually going to get off drugs and actually be the person to do something with their lives, and I think that's sort of the underlying message. But even that, you know, I'm thinking to myself, even as I get the chance to explain on this video here, I'm like, look at these the 2 5,000 word, 2 3-part structured storylines. You know, they're so similar, and then I'm just going over like basically 3 acts, and I'm like, okay, well, I know what's happening, but I've not even had the same level of like heart and passion and stuff in it, because as I'm explaining, you know, Billy has to, you know, run back from Walker Gate, the biker in the wall, and he has to beat this guy up, and he has to basically comfort Nikki, and I think even now as I'm speaking, I just sort of got a revelation of, well, yeah, she can't say he's pregnant, but she has to say that she needs him. You know, she needs him, and that's why he has to stay. And you know, he sort of chooses her over getting clean. Which in a way I think I need to sprinkle more of their relationship in the first chapter, really, because they need to solidify it. Where's a pen? I need to start writing this shit down. But yeah, like absolutely. And in Yeti too, I think I just need to take the heart of it. I don't like the descriptions I used in this later draft. I don't. It's too vague. I can hit with some thick descriptions. I can hit with some, you know, like simple enough of like it marched, it stomped. It's fine. I don't know why I'm deep in it all. And it's not meant to be a masterpiece. I started Yeti to write a sci-fi environmentalist story that I was like, this is fun. I did it because of fun. And now I realize that like everything is just getting a bit too serious, and like the actual process, the luster that writing precedes, the energy it gives off. I'm not tapping into it because I'm just so in my own head. When I get a chance to think and write my stories, like, or speak on my stories here, and it's like these two works I could put my head down in for a month, 2 months. 2 months, of course, is when we have the deadlines. Literally, I think I've got 2 months left. I could put my head down for 2 months with these works, and I think I could come out with a really, really happy, satisfied, beautifully just nice descriptions, beautiful dialogue, real indication, which is really I think where I'm lacking with both of these stories and in my writing, dynamic writing, indication that this person has got from this point to this point to this point to this point to this point, you know, in beautiful description, I'm not too good at that. So yeah, I think I need to learn grammar and punctuation and the English language, and sort of master that more and learn that more and adapt with ability, so I can have more of a vocab, I can have more of a well, tools at my disposal, you know. But I also need to be more confident in dynamic writing. I need to be able to go from, point A to B, um, without it feeling unnatural, without just cutting and not explaining anything. I had like a difficult writing process with the plane crash, but it shouldn't be difficult to write a plane crash. You're flying, turbulence, you're going down, crash. Should I just need to start loving it more and be engaged with it and be in deep process with it, because I think staying back from it and thinking that I'm in it. That's why I don't like this later draft compared to the earlier draft. The earlier draft was wrote with that gusto, that love, that like every time I was writing a sentence, I was laughing, I was enjoying it. I was like, this is the pulpy thing that I thought, okay, this is fun, this is good to write, and yeah, this Billy story, I had such emotion, I had such deep connection with it, but now it's the characters, I'm not in their minds, I'm not feeling their motivations, I'm not sympathizing with them, and I feel like I'm just stepping back and I'm half-arsing it. Point of the video, I'm just half-arsing it, and I think that's the worst thing you can do, is just half-arse things, because it's better to live in ignorant bliss, not knowing what you want to do in life, and just sort of going through the motions, than it is knowing what you want to do in life and just never reaching that standard. And I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to torture myself, and I don't want to hurt myself like that, and I don't want to half-arse it. I'm going to end the video here. I don't want to start half-arsing things. Don't do that. Put the effort in that you deserve. Respect yourself with the effort. Respect God with the effort. Respect your mom who puts roofs over your head. Respect your family who give you love. Respect your government who feed you. Respect all these things. Respect all the gift of life that you have, and stop half-arsing it and go and live. Even the things that you despise, like nice hair, the things you despise. I think this channel is quite clear that I'm not a fan of my government, how people run things, their thought processes. But I'm in one of the safest countries in the world. One of the most beautiful. I am in the most beautiful country in the world. I'm never gonna say anything otherwise. Um, well, I'm torn, right? Newcastle, Scotland, and England. Um, I'm in the most beautiful island, you know. I'm in the most beautiful place on the planet, and I'm so lucky, and I'm taking it for granted. I'm taking it all for granted, and I need to stop, and I need to put the respect that it deserves. I need to put my time and effort in that's due, and live a life worth living. Absolutely. And I'm sorry that I've half-assed things. Let's um let's go right, like 100 fucking 10%.